So we had a customer that we ordered. He ordered I want to say 24 images for, I believe, a softball team, and they bought another jersey for us to go ahead and make one more for them because they got another team, another player. I mean, that's what I meant to say. But anyways, guys, so let's get back to it. So what happens? We had, like I was saying earlier, a couple people had hit me up about the printer issues and about DTF transfers storing issues. So what I was saying earlier, um, what we normally do is we normally print, press, and they out the door. But fortunately, if you have transfers lying around, like I do, I have transfers just laying around. So you just use these silica packs and store them in a nice, cool place. Don't keep them somewhere high. Keep them low because humidity rises. I mean, the heat rises. So we use these little packs right here, and it keeps the transfers in a cool, store place. That helps reserve them. But keep in mind that if you want to reserve the transfers as well, do not get hot peel. I was saying that earlier. Do not get hot peel. You want cold peel because when you're storing them, they store longer. I don't. If I do store transfers, it probably be for a day or two, maybe a week at the most. But 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they start to have issues. So just keep that in mind because you can, you know, get away from you. But just do test prints, and I normally have test prints just laying around, but I don't have anything for a customer just laying around just to ship out the door. Unless I have that customer order in high volume constantly, then I will actually, probably consider having some pre-made transfers ready to go, different sizes. But anyways, these silica packs are good for you guys. So I seen somebody right here. Let me see who was it. Let me check it out. Cinco Live. Davis right here. How's it going? How you doing? How you doing? Haven't jumped on in a while. But yeah, so now for the humidity issues, if you're not keeping your print environment controlled, having humidity within 40, 45-ish, that's it, and goes to 50, you start having problems with the ink. So I would try to keep it down. Humidifier, dehumidifier, cut that bad boy on. Look at your humidity, make sure it's coming down, and just make sure that you have, the right print environment set up, so you won't have to worry about the banding in the prints or the ink starts to dry up. And you gotta run nozzle checks and whatnot. So and what else I wanted to say? If you guys are printing for a long period of time, like I say all day, make sure you do nozzle checks in between your prints, so you know that. Or if you don't have a two-headed printer that runs the bead on the side of the printer, it's going to show you that the print head is staying consistently wet. Then you want to run the nozzle checks, because either if you do have, you still want to run nozzle checks because some of the colors can fade out in between prints and you get banding issues. So you want to be able to correct that so far as do a power cleaning and get the channels back up before you can be able to continue printing. Because long periods of time, I noticed a lot of people was telling me, hey, my prints come out looking nice, and then after a couple of prints, for like 20, 30 prints, I noticed that the white has started to fade out. That's because you're not doing nozzle checks in between and make sure the print head is, all the colors are staying, properly. But what else? What else? What else? It's a couple different things that people was telling me that I'm just going off the back of my head because it was in the last couple of days. I said, hey, I'll make a video, or I decided to go live and talk about it. But it's just the simplest problems that everybody is having with the DTF. And keep this in mind. Um, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I don't want to bust anybody's bubble. But within, I say, 5 to 6 months of printing with DTF, you're going to start having trouble. You're going to start having problems with your nozzles. You're going to start having problems. Not some people don't have serious problems. Some people do within that time span. 6, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, they start having big problems. Now that comes from the volume of printing, the maintenance coming from the, how long you're printing, and It comes from a lot of different things because these printers print for a long period of time, and you got to remind that you have to keep everything together so far as print head, make sure it stays wet, make sure you nozzle checks, and make sure the print is coming out quality. If not, then you're gonna start having problems gonna start piling up on you. And I noticed a couple people, like I talked to somebody in New York, I talked to somebody in Texas, hot and cold. They was having similar problems. But I was just like, you check your humidity. One guy said he said, "What's that?" And I said, "How long have you been printing?" 9 months. I said, "How many issues have you had?" He said, "This is the first time I ran into any type of issues like this." I was like, "Wow." So what happens within that time, I think, is that printing for so long, not checking the humidity, the print head just gave out, or starts to give out. You do power cleans, and it doesn't come back. Your humidity is up. You have to bring it down. You can't do cleanings where humidity is off because it's not going to be effective. So that's one thing that you gotta be conscious of too. Say it again. You do power cleanings and your humidity is up, it's not going to be effective. You have to make sure your humidity is right in order for you to do cleanings or try to go ahead and take a nozzle, it's clogged, to try to bring it back and do anything you need to do to treat the nozzle to bring it back. If not, if you're using a 7890, 7900, or any one of those type of printers, you can swap the colors. Hopefully that you have enough. So it's variables, guys. So the people that get into the DTF, you gotta have some type of experience that comes, with using some small printer to jump up to a big printer. Because if you just jump into a big printer and you just follow the guidelines and the rules, you have to make sure you check the engine every time. Because if you don't do everything, keep the humidity right and the environment right, you're gonna have some problems down the line with your printer. When you have a brand new printer, it goes perfectly fine. But people who have printers that's used, they start having those cleanings. Start having those problems with the cleaning cycles. You know, power clean or normal clean is up to you. It depends on your nozzle check, what you're looking at, what you're seeing, how far the actual channels are gone. It determines you need to do a power clean to get deep, to get all the channels freed up to come back, or a normal clean if it's just one or two channels have a couple faint lines. No, you don't need to do a power clean for that. So it's up to your discretion of what you're seeing from your nozzle check. Hope that makes sense. But when it's real hot or it's real cold, if you guys starting to print for the day, you have to, from my knowledge, make sure that you look at your humidifier and say, hey, it's hot right now. I see the temperature. Let me go ahead and cool my room down. Or I see it is too cold. Let me go ahead and get the room up to temperature. And then I'm going to start doing my nozzle checks. Then I'm going to start doing my power cleans. Then I'm going to start agitate my ink. So whatever the case, if I said it backwards, you know what I mean. Power cleans or normal cleanings, depending on the nozzles. The agitation of the inks and everything else too, you guys want to probably start with the basics too, because you can, maybe I'm wrong, but just from my experience, when you shake those cartridges up and it puts those bubbles or airs in there, that stuff go up through the cartridge and go into the line too and come out on your print. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But you be able to see it when you get to looking at the whites and stuff, and then the lines, So the banding issues is one of the main things that people do not want, or they don't want the color to look grainy. That grainy look, it doesn't look like it's that yellow, solid yellow. It look grainy, like it's ashy. You know what I mean? And a lot of colors, if all your colors don't come out looking like super vibrant or looking like the colors is all one solid color, and you've been printing for a while, and you maybe have a single print head, maybe you need to do a print head alignment. I figured that out. You can you can have a perfect nozzle check, perfect, no broken lines, and you print out a print and it looks like not too great. You'll start looking at the humidity. Looking at the resolution of the image. You say, nah, this right here is 300 dpi, and it's a nice quality image. I used Photoshop. I looked at it. I blew it up. It didn't look pixelated, and you print it out. It can have that type of effect. Then you need to do uh, do a alignment with your head, and that happens. And I didn't even know what that was at one point in time. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This print here, bro. It's this motherfucking new goddamn. And my print coming out like this. And this the time I didn't really too much know about what was going on. But I had orders I need to get out the way. Like, I need to get these orders out the way. I don't got time for this shit. Be honest with you guys. So I have to figure it out. Like, oh, maybe I need to do alignment. I go research and looked it up. Print come out looking like this. What it say? And then I have to figure out how to do alignment. How do I do alignment now? Unidirectional, bidirectional, or all? Which one I select? So you got to know about that too. And once you do that alignment, the print head come out printing crispy, looking super quality. Like, oh, that's what it is. I learned something new. Like, oh, I didn't know what that was. Yeah, unidirectional, bidirectional, or hit all. Let the printer do the alignment for you instead of you trying to do it accordingly manually. Nah, it's not gonna work. So I went through all those different phases too as well. But anyways, I hope I don't sound like I got off the subject, but it's still on subject if you think about it. 'Cause we're still talking about print heads and quality. But I just want to say that, I don't like to have a yellow image or light gold image and the print be looking real grainy inside. I want to have it looking like yellow, purple, orange, green, gold. I want the gold to be gold. I don't want it to be looking like that. So that's one thing that I try to, keep everything on the consistency. So show you guys the vibrancy of the images, the quality. You want that to come and always stand out when you're printing for people. You want that to stand out when you're printing for people. You don't want it to be looking like, oh man, I could have did better. I'm going somewhere else on the next time around. That white, you press that, you want that to look good. Oh, they say you can't hear me. Let me see what's going on. So can you hear me now? 'Cause I don't know what happened, so you can't hear me. But my volume is all the way up. But you want this to look crispy though. You can hear me now. You want that to look crispy. You don't want the colors to have the greeny inside the prints. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Because I see, a lot of little mistakes that's being made, with the DTF first time around, people first getting into it. They show me their prints and they say, hey, what do you think about this print? And they be like, well, that's what the customer send me when I go to certain little businesses and maintenance their printer. So what I tell people in that case is this, I always have one image that I print. It's a super nice image. So I know if I print this out on your printer, it don't come out looking like this, and we have the same type of printer, there's something that's going on. So I give a couple people these images, and they say, hey, it looks super nice. And a couple weeks later, they print something out for a customer, and the customers are some type of, I'm not saying hostile, but sometimes customers can be, ready, what's the word I'm looking for, up front with it. And they say, hey, this image is the best quality. I did this before too. And I'll make a long story short. He was like, I printed this image out that you gave me, and it came out super nice. So I showed him the image. Still can't hear me, huh? What is going on with my, let me see. I don't know what's going on. I cut everything up. What about now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I don't know. So hope I ain't talking for nothing. Probably gotta jump off and jump back on. I can hear you. Okay, cool. Okay, so what I was saying about the images, you don't want no grainy prints. When you see orange, yellow, red, you want that to be looking like the color without green all inside of the images that look, or inside the white. You want to have that super nice when the customers send you something. You want to make sure the prints come out the same way all the time. I had a customer who said he had a customer that complained about his image quality, And what I was saying was I give a lot of customers a certain image to print out, and I know this image prints super, super nice. And if you have anybody complain about images, print this image out behind their image. And if it comes out nice, then it's the quality of their image that they send to you. And some customers can be real needy, and they want the image and they want it at a certain time because they probably have a customer, and the image quality is not up to par. And sometimes they try to blame it on the printer who printed the images for you, and sometimes be the quality of your image. So that's why I give a person an image that's super nice quality. I print it out on a lot of different printers. Say, hey, this image looks like this. I like it. Any image you print, it's supposed to look like this. So you want to go off this as a reference, because customers, they can send some images be bad quality. They probably didn't took it from a screenshot, put it in a program and move the background up the resolution, but the quality still don't look as good, but it looks nice to them. And when you print it out, it doesn't look like how it looks on the actual printer on the computer, and that's a conflict sometimes. So that's why I say you guys don't take any screenshots of any images. Make sure you use the actual digital, the right image. 'Cause if not, it's not gonna come out right. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up. But for the ones that understand about the printing, if you just new to it, make sure that you do some research about the humidity issues. If you're using any two-headed printers, make sure you guys do the proper research on how to maintenance these printers, because those printers require more maintenance than the 7890s, 7900s, and so forth. Those printers, two-head, require maintenance. You have to wet cap those printers at the end of the day. So if anybody, now speaking about that, customer asks me, hey, I'm thinking about getting a two-headed printer. What do you think about that? And I said, well, from my perspective, if you have a large, or I'm not gonna say that, but a large workload, and you want to knock them out super fast, then that'll be a good go for you. Which one that you select is what it's gonna be to your discretion. But just make sure that you're gonna be up for twice the maintenance. So our printers is basically, you go ahead and power it on, after take the inks, do a nozzle check, do a power clean, then do the same thing before you turn it off, and the wet capper is not needed. But when you're dealing with these printers, you can't do that because you wake up in the morning and you're gonna have some issues going on. So that's why they have the moisturizers, and they have their solutions, and for you to clean it out, wet cap it, and then sit it on and come back in the morning, and you'll be back up printing again once you complete the whole process of the cleaners and everything. So if you have a large workload and you want to not print for a very long time, you want to knock them out in a fast period of time, then I recommend you guys get yourself a two-headed printer. So, but other than that, I'm gonna leave you guys with that right there. I do got other content that's coming out. It's been just a long one. I've been dealing with this marketing issues, and you know, talking to people about the marketing. So I've been trying to, go a different route, and that's why I have been doing a lot of YouTube videos as well. But we still be having orders coming in and going out. But I haven't went anywhere. Everything's still the same. But we're gonna start putting more content out. Whenever I get around to it. I've been trying to, but dang, it's so much going on, so much all in a big old, in a, how can I say, in a full circle. I'm doing everything, come right back to where I started to get back on it again. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't did that. For the ones that's gonna watch this later on down the line. And if you have any printer related issues or anything like that, hope you guys work it out. Just make sure that you are familiar with the print environment situation. If not, then hey, you'll learn it. But yeah, what's this right here? Free World. What's going on? What's going on, Free World? Shouts out to you guys. Let me go back through here. Let me see who all hit me up. ABX, ABHI. Shouts out to you. Shouts out to you, brother. Shouts out to everybody who's watching right now. I really appreciate you guys for watching. And thank you guys for commenting. Thank you guys for giving me 4 thumbs up. Really appreciate that. But how can I say this? I will start making more videos. I will start making more videos. But you guys have my permission. You guys can share the videos with family, friend members, and whatever. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out. Peace.